Welcome in, YouTube, to a side quest part for Morrighan and Initari's adventures through Eorzea, basically. In this part, Morrighan gets a new job. After, of course, she finishes up her Gunbreaker job. What is that new job going to be? You'll have to watch to find out. Don't forget, you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/CalebGames here, where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Usually starting Usually starting somewhere between 9 and 10 a.m. Pacific time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you're enjoying these types of videos. Let me know what you think. I love you, YouTube. I'll see you in a bit. For better or worse, the Aluidae are nowhere to be seen. Reese and the others seem to think they've abandoned their mission and gone back to Garland, which I highly doubt. For them, failure simply isn't an option. But what I want to know is, where is Radovan? I've a good mind to pack up and leave him here, or at least find somewhere warmer to wait for him. If there's one thing I can't bear, it's standing about doing nothing, especially somewhere as bitterly cold as this. I know, let's go and ask the Temple Knights if they have any work for us. What took you so long? I've already been and spoken to them. Anyway, there's a client looking for protection, but they wish to remain anonymous. We're supposed to meet them in a place called Twin Pools, which is in western Kurthis, apparently. Seeing as we have nothing better to do, we may as well go and find out what they want. It should pass the time until Radovan comes back, if nothing else. Is this person dressed like an elf? No, not really at all. 2 Twin Pools. You know something that I didn't know about this area? Is apparently there is a broken Initari. And I say apparently, but I've actually, after learning that, I went to it. It's over here. At Camp Riversmeet. See? Broken Initari. And I think when I saw it on my first part with Aerolith, I just assumed it was a weird ice crystal formation. Prospective client. Why do you look so ominous? That's fine. My prayers have been answered. I was beginning to think the Temple Knights had forgotten about me. I do hope you will forgive my secrecy, my need for secrecy. The nature of my request is very sensitive, you see. Now, if you would be so kind as to follow me. I can't break free. Wriggle all you want, little fly. Nothing escapes my web. Ah, but 'twould be a shame for you to die without knowing the name of the spider who ensnared you. I am Vitus Quo Masal, commander of the Aluidae. When we came to collect that old goat who had strayed from the herd, I never expected to find a prowling lion. Or should I say, warrior of light? There are many in Garlemald who would be delighted were I to present your course, and I doubt that restoring me to Pilus Prior will suffice. No, Legatus would be more fitting. Vitus Van Masala has such a wonderful ring to it. Yet, so close I can almost taste it. Your tale ends here. Radovan! Where the bloody hells have you been? Tracking the Aluidae. That's how I knew they'd come after you, Morrighan. Prisoner 1441, if I am not mistaken. First you refuse my kind offer, then you have the audacity to escape. And now this. Whatever am I to do with you? You're not the only one with a few tricks up his sleeve, Vitus. When we first encountered the Aluidae, I noticed the collars they were wearing. I had one myself not so long ago. This must be your way of maintaining discipline. I took one of them to Mamula, who engineered a device similar to yours. How ironic that the very collars you are so fond of could be turned against you. Worthless dogs. Of course I never needed the Aluidae or those Magitech traps to slay the likes of you, but I prefer to leave nothing to chance. No matter. We will just have to settle this the old-fashioned way. Speaking of which, where did you find those antiques? If you think they compare to a Garlean gunblade, you are very wrong. As much as I wish to fight him alone, there is more at stake here than my pride. We must rid the world of this beast once and for all. Morrighan, Sophie, follow my lead. Do hold still while I take your head, little lion. I would make a present of it to the Emperor himself. As for your friends, I am more than happy to hack them to pieces. When I told you he rivals Gaius van Baelsar, that was no exaggeration. Watch out, Morrighan. It's you he's after. You savages could never hope to master techniques such as this. Impudent wretches! How dare you keep me from my prize? Sophie, you want to get out of that? Or just stand in both of them, sure. He's after Sophie! Stop him! Should have known the Warrior of Light would not fail so easily. I have enjoyed our little game, but the time has come to end it. This does not look good. Sophie, help me form a barrier. Understood. So it's come to this. No choice but to use Final Bastion. You have defied me long enough. We made it, but that took everything we had. I will do what I can. All spent, little flies. Now, Warrior of Light, there is no one left to save you. It's up to you, Morrighan. Show him the true strength of a Gunbreaker. Finally, we fight alone. Let us fight. Steel against steel. Alright, we're gonna be fine to stand right here. Yeah! He does not take a lot of damage. Pulling blade, huh? First time I ran this fight as Aerolith, I remember it being much more difficult. Or maybe I've just gotten better at playing Gunbreaker. There'll be nothing left to bury. So stubborn. Why do you deny your true purpose? You exist only to further my legacy. Now die! One final burst phase should be enough, I believe. There we go. How dare you! I never thought I'd live to see the day that Vitus Quo Masala met his match. You are a better Gunbreaker than I ever was. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for all the trouble I've put you both through. You're sorry? I should bloody well hope so too. You great oaf. What were you thinking threatening Mamula like that? Not to mention leaving us to escort him to Ishgard. When Morrighan found me in Mamula, I noticed the Aluidae watching us from a nearby cliff top. I thought it was strange that they'd pass up the opportunity to attack us, so I made it appear as though I'd abandoned you and started following them in secret. I discovered that their primary target was now the Warrior of Light, not Kato Mamula. Their scout saw you on the way to Camp Dragonhead and reported it to Vitus, who then called off the ambush to see for himself if the information was valid. Powerful as he was, he would never show his hand unless he was certain of victory, so he waited to make his move. One thing I did know for certain is that even if the three of us fought together, we wouldn't stand a chance against the full might of the Aluidae. That was when I decided to consult our fugitive engineer. We talked into the early hours of the morning until we reached an understanding, and he agreed to construct the Magitech control device. In order for the plan to work, I would have to remain hidden until the very last moment, even from the two of you. But I thought you needed time alone to think about what you'd done. The remorse I felt for dishonoring myself was no act. When I realized Mamula's identity, I wanted to confront him about Bozja, but I needed to get him away from you and Reese. I never had any intention of killing him. All I wanted was for him to admit his crimes. But it still gave me a sick sense of satisfaction to see him on his knees defeated. This is when I knew I'd betrayed the ideals of a Gunbreaker, that I had abandoned my honor. I want to thank you for guiding me back to the true path. With Vitus gone, any remaining members of the Aluidae are free of his control, and are likely to be treated as fugitives running from the Empire. In any case, I think it is safe for Mamula to come out of hiding now. Allow me to express my gratitude for vanquishing the Aluidae, which I understand was due in no small part to Radovan's marvelous idea involving the Magitech collars. I am glad to hear the device I cobbled together functioned as intended. Yes, we couldn't have done it without your help. Vitus alone pushed the three of us to our limits. Had the Aluidae joined the fight, things would have ended very differently. We owe you our lives. All things considered, it was the least I could do. A remarkably simple matter, in fact, compared to my next endeavor, the installation of Ishgard's ceruleum heating system. While I may never be able to adequately repay the kindness I have been shown, I must begin somewhere, until we meet again. Morrighan, since I first met you, I knew you had the potential to become a Gunbreaker. As the only one of my clan to escape the destruction of Bozja's citadel, I thought the art of the Gunblade would die with me. Now that I have passed on all I know to you, my successor, I feel that there is little for you to gain from taking on assignments with us. Yes, we can hardly expect the Warrior of Light to spend valuable time assisting us with our money-making schemes. Before we part ways, however, there is one last place I would like to visit with you. I hear that a great many adventurers who hope to make a name for themselves head to Revenant's Toll. I imagine there will be plenty to keep us busy. But more than anything, I am hoping to find others to whom I can impart the teachings of my clan. Once people see you with your gunblade strapped to your back, I'm sure it'll pique curiosity. So will you come with us? To Revenant's Toll, where they will remain forever. Oh, I will always take free teleports, hell yeah. I must confess, we would have struggled to find the place without you. Yes, when I first heard about a remote settlement populated almost entirely by adventurers and the like, I was expecting it to be a lot more lawless and chaotic. Knife fights over card games, that sort of thing. What a pleasant surprise it turned out to be. With a little luck, I'll find candidates to train as gunbreakers. Although it goes against the traditions of my clan to teach outsiders, meeting you has proved to me that we are being overly cautious. You see, the gunblade is forged for one purpose: to protect. We feared that its techniques would fall into the hands of those who seek to oppress and conquer, such as the Garleans and the Alligans before them. Centuries of being beset by enemies on all sides taught us to fear and mistrust those not of our clan. That is why we kept our art such a closely guarded secret. But when you came to our rescue that day, you acted without a thought for your own safety to aid those in need. This is the true essence of the Gunbreaker. You have your own ideals to protect, your own promises to keep. Go forth, Morrighan, and follow your path, wherever it may lead. Hell yeah, and we get continuation? That's huge. It just made our combo, our burst phase, that much better. Following your hard-fought victory, you have mastered a new technique. In order to undertake the next Gunbreaker quest, we have to have completed Shadowbringers, and the role quest to have loved and lost. Once we've done that, the next Gunbreaker quest will be available from Radovon. Bum-ba! So, Morrigan's gonna get a new job now because she's hit level 70, and I have talked about getting a healer for a while for her. So we're gonna go talk to this Sharlayan maiden. Hello! Limsa, former disreputable haven for pirates, now one of the realm's finest city-states, boasting a peerless shipping industry and an enviable culinary culture. Oh, how it bustles. The tomes did not lie. Well, here I am, Mother, in faraway Eorzea. I will complete this mission, just you watch. In your noble name, and as first of my class, I will succeed. And afterwards, perhaps I shall invite our esteemed alumni, Alice, for tea at the Bismarck. I'll be the envy of everyone. Ah! Ahem. My apologies. Good madam, I failed to notice you. I am Lala Jinjal, a native of Sharlayan. By your appearance, I assume you are an adventurer? Are you perhaps well-traveled, or perchance well-traveled in Eorzea? So you are! How very fortuitous. And Morrighan is your name, you say? I'd swear I heard it somewhere before. In any event, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. As for myself, I am an operative on a mission from the Forum, our nation's governing body. This being my first time in Eorzea, I studied as best as I could in preparation, but there is no substitute for a local's knowledge. Thus did I intend to hire an adventurer like yourself to serve as my escort. The mission is the pursuit and capture of fugitives, and thus it will entail some danger. But you appear to be no stranger to such. Might you be willing to assist me in this endeavor? I'll be glad to give you the grand tour. Wonderful! While I have some skill with a blade and can fend for myself, I shall be glad of your capable company. Now then, ere I divulge the particulars of my mission, we should head somewhere more private. Perhaps outside the city by the Zephyr Gate? Do 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 do. I love the quest accepted music and everything for Endwalker. It's so good. It's so good. Forgive me if I seem overly cautious, but this mission is highly confidential. Were the wrong people to learn of it, my superiors would give me an earful. But I believe we may speak freely here, so permit me to brief you on the details. As I mentioned, I am on the trail of fugitives. Criminals who fled Charlian and came to these shores. Whoops. While in a state of delirium, one of their compatriots even committed murder. He died thereafter due to side effects of his enhancements, but 3 others remain at large and pose a threat to innocence. Their leader, a Vieira male, is alleged to have stolen valuable technological secrets. By way of reference material, I've brought this soul crystal. Ow, it's hot, it's hot! What in the world? I have never known soul crystals to give off such heat before. Whew, it's finally cooled down. But what could have triggered that intense reaction? Not even at the studium did I ever witness such a thing. But maybe it was you. I've heard some crazy things in my life. The technological secrets which were stolen were contained in a similar crystal. This particular sample has been loaned to me by a healing institute in Charlian. Tell me, Morrighan, in the course of your adventures, have you ever fervently wished to save someone? But failed to do so despite your best efforts, and afterwards cursed your own powerlessness? I've had to watch some of my dearest friends slip away. Yes, but it doesn't stop me from trying to save whomever I can. Yes, but it doesn't stop me from trying to save whomever I can. Forgive me if my question was indelicate, but there can be no doubt the soul crystal resonated with that desire within you. When I received the crystal, I was told that, should it respond in this manner to my Eorzean collaborator, I should entrust it to them. For the knowledge it imparts, the knowledge of somanotics, I would surely avail me in my mission. Developed at the studium, somanotics is a discipline which combines the wisdom of medicine, etherology, and sorcery, and those who have mastered it are called sages. Through medicine, a sage grasps the workings of the flesh. Through etherology, she unlocks the secrets of the soul, and through sorcery, she learns to manipulate the two. Thus trained, a sage has the ability to both strengthen and heal. Yet, by the same token, she is also capable of the opposite, of causing harm. Not just anyone can take up the sage's art. One must be prepared to hold the lives of others in one's hands. Are you willing to bear such a burden, Morrighan? If you are, and would swear to use the art for good, then I shall entrust this soul crystal to you. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. So have you come to a decision? Then I will bear witness to your pledge. Do you swear to use the sage's art for good and to wield its power to the best of your judgment and ability? Yes, I do. Excellent! Chosen as you are by the crystal, I had faith that you would rise to the occasion. When those around you cry out for succor, the crystal shall be your ally, for it bears the wisdom of sages past, and their hopes for the future. By hearkening to their whispers and following in their footsteps, you will come to embody those hopes, to save and change countless lives. Lest you worry how you will learn the art, I can provide guidance. To an extent, in any case. During my time at the studium, I had occasion to study somanotics. You see, while I wasn't gifted in spellcraft and came to favor steel, I remember the lessons and will share what I know. Together with the soul crystal, I shall provide you with a set of sage's garments. So go on, take up your crystal and don your attire, and we shall begin your training. You got it. Sage unlocked. Okay. Let's use the acquire, or the attire. Let's equip that, and equip the attire. What this, however, does not come with is a set of accessories. So, I'll need to go get those. Wait, no, don't reassign that gear to Gunbreaker. Let us add a new gear set. I see the crystal has imparted to you its knowledge as expected. Excellent. You are ready to embark on your training, and naturally it begins with armaments. A set of short staves known as Nowliths. Nowliths trace their roots to healers of Eld, who employed naturally occurring objects of power known as Adder Stones. These stones, which harbor spiritual energy, were placed around the sick and ailing to create an etheric confluence through which the healer channeled her magics. From this primitive design, Nowliths gradually evolved into their present form. While their construction is far more sophisticated, the basic principle remains unchanged. In practice, the sage wields Nowliths as an extension of her mind, sending them darting through the air to weave the arcane patterns through which she unleashes advanced magics. If they sound difficult to wield, well, it's because they are. Even the Studium's most talented require years of training to become proficient. But you have an advantage that transcends talent. The crystal has chosen you. With its knowledge, the technique will come more naturally to you than others. Now, as much as I would like to have you try your hand with the Nowliths at once, I have just received promising intelligence from Command. Apparently, our fugitives have taken themselves to Idleshire, in the Dravanian hinterlands. Let us make our way there at once. So this is Idleshire. The tales do not do the place justice. Truly impressive what the goblins and their fellow scavengers have managed to build upon the ruins of our colony. To the task at hand. As I mentioned before, we have reason to believe that the fugitives have recently passed through this town, and may even still be here. For the sake of efficiency, I suggest we split up and search. I will see to the town south if you could tend to the north. Okay. Help! Somebody, please! I need help! Did you hear that? That man is in trouble. Look at me. When I'm talking to you. Stop this at once. A sage's barrier? Loifa. Too many eyes and ears. We'd best leave. I don't know who you are, and I don't care. Do not get in our way again. You've been warned. Wait! Bum 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 bum. I need to turn that hotbar off. Thank you. Had you not intervened when you did, I dread to think what might have become of me. Permit me to introduce yourself, or myself. Permit me to introduce you. Faldernay of Charlian at your service. Truly? I am Charlian too, a recent graduate of the Studium, in fact. Would you mind telling us what happened? Oh, that an alumna should come to my rescue. Thaliak watches over his own. As to what happened, what is there to say? I was going about my business when they set upon me without warning or provocation. I see. What is your business, if you do not mind my asking? Healing. The provision of it, that is. I am a sage, you see, and I travel the realm providing treatment gratis to those who cannot afford it. A sage besides? Speaking of which, one of your assailants, the Vieira man, also wielded sage magic. Was he known to you? No. I had never so much as laid eyes upon him before. I do have an inkling, however, as to why the villains have come here. If they use the sage's art for ill, then their destination is like to be Saint Morrighan's Arboretum. The Arboretum? What could they possibly seek in that abandoned place? Following the Exodus, the cultivation of certain plants became forbidden in Charlian, but that which can no longer be found in the motherland still grows freely there, among which are potent but dangerous herbs. I see. That does stand to reason, and I dare say it was for your knowledge that the fugitives attacked you. You too are a sage, yet you do not appear to be Charlian. How did you come by your soul crystal? The good people of Physis Technon had entrusted the crystal to me, and when it exhibited a strong resonance in Morrigan's presence, I in turn entrusted it to her. Then, you were chosen to inherit. Is aught amiss, Master Faldernay? No, 'tis nothing. I was but struck by the remarkable providence to have crossed paths with sages so far from home. Ours is a reclusive nation, after all, our policy to observe, not intervene. This did not sit well with me, and so I left Charlian behind, as the great Master Louis Soir once did. And though I would never dare equate myself to him, I too believe it my duty to alleviate suffering in the world. So that's what brought you to Eorzea. You are a noble soul, Master Faldernay, and I commend your resolve. Well, I must return to the road. I thank you again for coming to my aid. Till next we meet, let us both endeavor to seek out knowledge and possibilities for the betterment of mankind. Grandiose. Let us head to Saint Morrighan's Arboretum at once. Given what we know of the fugitives, I had considered that they might be after knowledge sealed in the Great Google Library, but Master Faldernay presents a compelling theory. And for an all but proven theory of my own, our quarry have clearly enhanced themselves with sage magic. I had suspected as much, given what they stole, But the leader's actions earlier leave little room for doubt. Not that it gives us any greater insight into who they are or their ultimate goal. Regardless, to use a sage's soul crystal for ill is unforgivable, and I'll not rest until these criminals have been brought to justice. Right. To the Arboretum. Our mission aside, I dare say it will be an ideal place for your training. Okay. By the Scholar. So this is St. Mosian's Arboretum. From the illustrations, I did not think it would be so immense. It may interest you to know that this place holds special meaning to sages. From ancient strains to crossbred creations, myriad medicinal plants have been cultivated within its halls. Alas, in the wake of the Exodus 15 years ago, this once magnificent institution has fallen into ruin. Still, there's a certain charm in seeing nature reassert her dominion. Why, it must be a veritable menagerie of rare wildlife within. I should like to spend a day studying them, field guide in hand. Forgive me, this isn't a field trip, but a mission. Our objective is to find the fugitives, and failing that, clues that will lead us to them. Please see to your preparations. A spot of practice with your spells would not go astray, and then we shall venture in. If you are ready then, let us venture forth. Your progress through the battle will be saved at certain... Okay. That was one of the nice things that they added with Endwalker, is that sometimes your progress could be saved, so you didn't have to redo the whole damn thing. If our assumption is correct, the fugitives have come, and may still be here. Keep your eyes peeled and keep your guard up. These halls are home to dangerous creatures. I will draw their attention, that you may focus on applying your techniques. Yeah. To begin with, cast Cardia on me. The spell will establish a magical link between us. The residual ether of your attacks will be channeled onto me, healing my wounds as you deal damage to our foes. Yep. Yes, just so. Let us continue on. Sizable fiend ahead. I believe this calls for a barrier. This time, augment your spell using Eucrasia, then cast Eucrasian Diagnosis on me. This will bestow a barrier on me that provides both protection and healing. I need to move my casting bar. Nothing of note here. Let us head deeper into the Arboretum. Fiends ahead, please watch my back. It would be great if she appeared under my party list, because that's usually how I heal, is by party stuff. So it does make it a little difficult to heal her. I have physis too, though. Impressive to see how well you wield your nowliths. One would not think you a novice. Some manner of plants seem to have been harvested here. I can't identify it by the remaining parts, however. There may be other clues nearby. We should investigate further. Okay. Flurries of tiny bubbles break the water's surface at regular intervals. Some manner of creature hiding under the lily pad, perhaps? An impression on the edge of the lily pad suggests someone knelt here, perhaps to draw water. More of the same plant taken. What could it possibly be? Resting at the bottom of the pool is an animal carcass overgrown with plant life. Perhaps it fell in while foraging for food. Fine scorch marks are in evidence on the leafage, reminiscent of those left by sage magics. Traces of ice. Someone recently fought here. A proficient wielder of magic. The fugitives may be close. Be on your guard. Fugitives! In the name of the Forum, I demand you surrender yourselves at once. Of all the weapons to bear against us. No matter. I warned you once, and I won't warn you again. I've got this. Stand back. Very well. This will go poorly for you if you insist. Ugh. So many AoEs. And so that's enough. You mustn't lose your temper. Gods damn it if it wasn't for that sage. This is just getting us nowhere. We must subdue Loifa first. That's what I've been doing. Malhad, return the favor and take care of that sage. Finish it. I also remember this one taking me a couple tries, and I think it's because I was focusing on too many... Ugh. Well. Too many enemies at once. It's over. Lay down your arms and I promise you won't come to further harm. There we go. Yeah, I think it was a simple, when I was trying to run it as airlift, was I should have just focused down the sage. Which makes sense. Take out the healer, right? Loifa, we don't have time for this. You held your own against the Enhanced. But aye, that's enough sport for now. The mission takes precedence. Confound it, not again! What's this? The pouch they dropped contained a plant, what they came for, I shouldn't doubt. 'Tis some manner of herb, but none I've seen in the course of my studies. And as I made my way out, I also stumbled upon what appears to be a diary by the entrance. Though much of its contents are magically obfuscated, I could make out some somanatical... Oh god, some... How did I say that word earlier? Somanautical terms, so we may assume it belonged to a sage. As we continue our pursuit, I will work on lifting the enchantments. When you have a moment, please feel free to peruse the contents in Idleshire. On that note, let us head back to the settlement. I've dispatched the plant to Charlian for identification. When we learn what it is, I believe we will gain insight into the villain's objective. Now tell me, Morrighan, have you been practicing with the Nowliths while I wasn't looking? I ask because even with the crystal's knowledge, you demonstrated remarkable proficiency. Regardless, 'tis plain you have a gift for the art. The sages whose memories reside in the crystal must be beaming with pride. Though sometimes I cannot help but wonder, if the sage's art was created for the betterment of mankind, why then does it incorporate techniques which inflict harm? And the fugitives? What could have compelled them to spurn our homeland's prescribed policy, as Master Louis Soir and Master Faldrenet have? Ugh, but I muse to no avail. It will be a while before we hear back regarding the plant. Until we do, please take the opportunity to continue honing your skills. As you go about your training, remember to heed the voices within your soul crystal. Do so, and your predecessors will surely grant you the wisdom to protect those you hold dear. Alright, we can now look through the Diary of a Sage. Let's read some. Entries 1 and 2. A young child was brought in today, so very young to be suffering so. But if anyone can save her, 'tis we sages of Physis Technon, and save her we will. Though it took many days and repeated treatments, we have managed to stabilize our most recent patient. We adapted the Eucrasia spell as my clever husband proposed, and it worked wonders. His brilliance truly belies his youth. Despite being 50 years my junior, he has already achieved so much. Okay. Thanks for watching, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed Morrigan's little side adventure where she got a new job. Let me know what you thought of the video down below by giving a like, a comment, or a subscribe, or all three of those. That would be great. And don't forget, you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/CalebGamesHere, where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, usually starting between 9 and 10 a.m. Pacific time. I love you, YouTube. I hope to see you around.